Stampers, this is Ginger from Stamping the Cape, and after doing much shoveling, we've had a bit of a blizzard here on Cape Cod the last few days, and it's raining, snowing again today, so I thought, well, what better thing to do to finally catch up on another video. And today I'm going to show you, this is one of the cards from my stamp club this month. It's using the Hey Chick stamp set from the Celebration brochure. If you spend $50 in product, you can select this as one of your free items, or there's lots of other great products to select from. But this is a simple little slider card, and I'm using the Hey Chick from the stamp set and the chicken. These are called Polish chickens. I looked it up and they really don't know why they're called Polish chickens, but anyway. And then I used the label or alphabet to create my own custom sentiment that says, just chicken in. So I'm going to show you how I made this card. We're going to start with a piece of 8.5 by, this is going to be 5 1/4. What I wanted to do was allow this slider to stick out a little bit, and in order for this to fit into a standard A2 envelope, I had to shorten the card up a little bit. So this is 8.5. This way, scored at your typical 4 1/4, but it's 5 1/4 on the long side, I guess you'd call it. And then I have a piece of, let's see, this is a piece of 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 basic black, and then a piece of 5 3 3/4 Smoky Slate. And this piece we're going to emboss for our front slider piece. But what I'm going to do first is, one of the other things I used was for the chicken wire effect, I used the Hexagon Dynamic Textured Embossing folder that's in the Occasions catalog. And I'm going to show you how I created this little chicken wire effect just stamping on the enfolder. So I'm going to bring my Big Shot in, and we're going to emboss the front piece. And I just want to explain, depending on what base you're using, this particular embossing folders, and we have a few like this, are a bit thicker. They're dynamic, which means they give a lot more impression, a lot more dimension to the impression, I should say. So you need to adjust what your normal embossing sandwich would be. If you're using the new Big Shot platform that just has the base and the adapter plate, you don't need the adapter plate, and you only need one of the cutting plates. You don't need to make your normal sandwich. It just won't go through. If you're using the old platform, you're going to take both tab 1 and 2, pull them away, and also you'll put your embossing folder down with one plate. And you'll notice that if you try to do it otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it through, and you don't want to break your Big Shot. So I'm going to use the new plate, or the new platform, I should say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up what I would call the top piece of the embossing folder, and I'm going to apply my ink pad right directly to it. And then I'm going to place my cardstock in and try to square that up. And we're going to put one plate on top and run it through. And there you can see, by doing it with the top platform, with the top of the embossing folder and putting ink on it, it's primarily pushed the ink into those designs. I did get some extra here, but that adds texture and that's fine. But it does give it a chicken wire effect. To get a different effect, you can put it on the bottom section. And these just wash right off. You can clean them off with a damp cloth, and there's no special treatment of them. So that's that. we can get rid of all of this. Okay. So now on this piece, to make your slider, I'm using one of our old punches, the old word window punch, but I haven't purchased the new classic window punch, but I'm sure you could do the same. You just want to make sure, let's see, this measures, where's my ruler? You just want to create about a 3/8 inch opening, which you could do, like I said, with the punch, or you can even use your paper trimmer, just cutting 2 lines, a 3/8 of an inch in between. And you're going to want to measure 3/4 of an inch from the left side, 3/4 of an inch in. That's where you want to start your punch, and then you want to go to like the 3 3/4 mark, and you don't want to go beyond there. So now we're going to punch our slide, and I'm going to push the punch in as far as it'll go and line it up the edge of the punch, or the opening of the punch where that dot is, which is right about there. And I'm going to do my first punch. And then I don't want to go any further than that other dot, so I'm going to go right about there. And that's going to create my slide. Okay. So now I'm going to take my base, and these pieces don't layer perfectly because, as I said, because I cut this off 1/4 of an inch, it's going to be wider at the top and the bottom. We're going to apply this piece to the front just using our snail. Go. Okay, now for this piece, I'm going to use the foam adhesive strips. These are great for doing sliders or for doing shaker cards, because you don't have to keep putting all those little dimensionals all around. So all you have to do is peel a strip, and I'm going to want to start off by putting a strip around 3 sides. Now you don't want to put it, this is where your slider is going to pop out. Don't put it on this side. You're going to put it on the back of this side, this end, and this end. But we don't want to block that slider from coming out. So I just trim off a piece there. Take another strip. See how quickly this works? It's really great. I love this. You can go right to that end. And I want to put it on this end as close to the edge as possible without hanging over, because I want to give that slider as much room as possible to come in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is the piece that we're going to use for the slider. It's 1.5 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to go right in here. That's going to be where your slider goes. So you want to kind of lay that in, and you're going to want to put some of this along here as a track for it to slide on. So I'm going to put a piece here, and I'm going to continue that on both sides. I'll put one on this side, and this will just keep your slider from going all over the place when you pull it out. It'll have a path to follow. And now I can put a piece, now that I know where my slider's going, I can put a little piece over here just to keep this popped up, and another little piece. Actually, I can actually put a dimensional, fit it right in here. I've got just a piece of dimensional, just so that the end does pop up as well. So that's going to be for your slider. Now I'm using, and you don't have to do this, but I'm using the Project Life corner punch just to give the tab end a little bit of a cleaner look so that you have the pull tab. And on this end, now I'm going to put it in here, and I want to figure out when I pull it out how far I'm going to go. And I want to stamp, as you can see on my original, the Hey Chick right here. I mean, you could essentially stamp it anywhere. You could leave it a little bit more of a mystery back here if you wanted, but anywhere within that section. So I'm going to use my basic black archival ink, and this is the Hey Chick stamp set that's free with the Celebration catalog. You can get it in wood mount, which is what I have, or you can get it in the clear mount. And it comes with Hey Chick, You're a Good Egg, and Have a Happy Day. And it's got 3 other chickens that you can use and a little egg, which I would put on the, you can put on the envelope, or you can put one of the chickens on the envelope. So let's just stamp that. And I'm not going to stamp it in the middle because you could see it in the window, so I'm just going to stamp it towards the top. Okay. There. Okay, here's where I'm showing you how I colored the chicken. I'm using the watercolor pencils, and I've used the Smoky Slate pencil and the black pencil to color in the chicken's hair and the feathers and its feet. And then I'll be using a blender pen to fill that in and finish that off. And in order to clean your blender pen, you just wipe it on the paper until it starts running clear, and you're good to go. And then I just cut it all out. And you'll notice I'm rotating the paper, not the scissors. It works much better that way than trying to move the scissors around. There we go. And then I forgot to color in the between the legs, since the background cardstock is Smoky Slate. I wanted the feet to sort of blend in. I didn't want to cut them off. And in order to create this slider piece, what you're going to do is you're going to take a dimensional, and this will fit exactly right through through that opening. You're going to put your dimensional in, and I just hold it there, and I peel the stickiness off. And I'm just going to put my chick right on that dimensional and just make sure we're going to slide. Okay. So now you're going to attach your chicken, and make sure he stays right side up to your slider tab. And I'm going to just put him in there. Hold that steady. Just put it in, stick it down, and then when you have him, there he goes. Very cool. So now we can peel off these pieces and attach this piece to the front of our card. And these adhesive strips are the covering on the back is great. It just peels right off, just like on your Stampin' Dimensionals. I don't even have fingernails, and it's so easy to take off. And if you can't get it off, you just take a piece of just take the end of your scissors. I do this a lot with the tear and tape. You just pick the edge, and it comes right up, and you can take it off that way. Okay, I already did that one. All right, so now we're going to attach this to the front of our card. And I'm going to keep this towards that back edge. Again, trying to line it up evenly, because we do want to make sure we don't go out any further than 5.5 inches. So let's see how we did, or how I did. Yep, that's 5.5 inches, and that should slide into our envelope very easily. So now what I did was I used, as I said, I used the alphabet label or alphabet stamp set to create my own custom sentiment that says just chicken in. And what I'm doing for my stamp club is I'm just to save time, since it would take everyone to share all the letters, because it's individual letters. I stamped, I put all the words on a block, and I stamped the just and the chicken, and actually there's only one C in the set. So what I did was I stamped Hicken and left a space, and then I went back afterwards and stamped in the C. So this stamp set is sort of meant to look kind of rustic and whatnot. You can trim this down a little more if you don't want to cut individual letters. But what I did was I like the look of cutting each individual letters, each of the letters, and then when you put them on, you can kind of make them a little wonky. You don't have to worry about them being perfectly straight. It's a particular look. If you don't like it, well, unfortunately it won't work for you, but it's a great way to create your own custom sentiments. So to save time, I've already gone ahead and cut out my pieces. So I'm just going to lay those in. And there you go. So you're all done. There's your card. And if you wanted to put another sentiment inside, you could, but that's great because you're going to be just chicken in. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will be posting this on my blog, stampingthecape.com, with the dimensions and all the information, and I'm going to post it at the bottom of this video as well. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.